Yo, what the deal? It's your boy x.e.l. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for coming back. And if you are new here, definitely like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll let you know when I drop another video. But today, I'm going to be talking about the MPC Beats inside of Cakewalk by Bandlab. What works and what doesn't. Now ready to take that trip? Let's go. Alright, wasting no time, MPC Beats is pulled up. I actually saved a template for it just because it will crash. Yes, I said it, it will crash. Alright, so usually when it's going to crash, you'll see the circle spinning and it'll say not responding. And that's usually the first sign that it's not going to work. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that don't use this right here, this thing that says it'll pop up and say plugins. Maybe if it, well, this right here that says plugin, don't click on that, because basically what that does is pull up the plugins from the MPC, and for some reason I guess the routing is kind of weird for it, so it'll actually crash the MPC and then it'll crash Cakewalk. The same thing with these expansion packs. If you actually use the program files that are actually set up in them, it will crash the program and then it will crash Cakewalk. There's so many little things inside this MPC Beats. As a standalone, it's great if you're used to the MPC and you like that workflow, but it's not for everybody. I'm just gonna let y'all know now, it's not for everybody. You have to be experienced in finding things inside here. There's a lot of little nuances that if you're not used to MPC, you won't know what they do or what they are. So like all of these links here are just parts of the just this section here for the main mode. So you have your project, which is basically whatever sample you drag in here or you drag to the track or the template itself. This is the project, and what's actually being seen here, which is programs, which is this program 1, and the sequences, which is this sequence up here. And the track is inside the sequence. It's set up a little weird in here, but that's how it is, right? And your pad perform is basically giving you the option to set notes and to actually do like scales and chords inside of your pads inside of the MPC. Your pads is actually the actual pads itself, and you have up to H, and you have 16 each, so there's that. And then you have your quick links, so you can actually do different things to find different programs and sequences and little tweaks and swings and things if you want to do in here. But that's what this screen is for here. So this section over here to the left, this is actually what they call the inspector. It's just like in Cakewalk, you have this inspector over here. This is the inspector for it, and you can actually go through this is for the pads, this is for the channel for this program 1. So you can choose your outs for your program 1, and this one is for your MIDI. So you can send your MIDI to different things, and this will be the section where you would actually do that. So over here, this will be your info. So if you need help, this little eye will bring you to this. This is how it actually starts up when you first open your MPC Beats. So you also have this here will show you the project, which is the same as scrolling over here and going to projects. It's the same thing. You have notes, so you can actually add in whatever you're going to add for your track. You can leave notes for the track and type it in, put the artist and all that stuff. This is your history here, and this is where you will actually have your media browser for your expansions and your filters for your expansions inside of the MPC. So this is all the MPC stuff for this little tab here. The expansion browser is here just for your expansions, whatever you have. It'll just show the box for it. And in here would be your file browser. So if you actually wanted to find your own stuff, you would go to number 5 and then go to wherever you have your stuff actually saved on here. So if you wanted to go to your drum kits, you would go in there and then find all your drum kits wherever you have them saved on your computer. But I'm going to leave it on this one here, the expansion. But like I was saying, so this here plugins will crash it. And if you leave it on this program option here and you try to like double click and make it set up in here like you would if it was the standalone, it will actually lock it and crash the system. But like I said, there's so many different little tabs and stuff on here, and there's certain things I still don't know how to do inside of Cakewalk, but I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. So this here would be your track view, where it'll actually show the tracks, whatever you have set up. This here would be your program to edit. So you can actually edit basically like the sound itself. So if you scroll across, you have your master. You can change your polyphony. You can do semitones. You can do a fine tune to tune the sound itself. You have your level, your pans. So this is where you would actually do all those things. You can actually have it to where it'll actually trigger different layers if you have them set up that way. And you can also do the fine tuning and panning for those. And you also have your filters for your ADSR stuff, and also over here is of course your like velocity, sensitivity. You can change your attack, pitch, pan for all those things and kind of just make like your own little things. You have your LFOs in here. So yeah, so you can make a lot of good things in here. It's just hard to get to it if you don't know where to go. So the sample is where you would probably be living inside here. I mean, that's where I would be. Just to let you know, I think this is way more technical than if you're like using just like Maschine, where it's kind of laid out like the pads, but you can actually maneuver in it a lot easier and quicker, I feel, than you would in here. But going along, here is your pad mixer, so you can actually mix your pads in here. And this is the regular channel mixer. So you can mix each individual channel for your audio and your programs. And here will be your sampler, so you can actually sample something from outside, like say a record. You can arm it and you'll see like the little waves come in and you'll be able to record. So it gives you a whole lot of options. And this is your like loop point. So if you want to do a loop on there, and then of course you can mute your tracks on here. But I'm going to go back to this first one here. So in here would be your timing. So let's say you wanted to do like a 1/8 and you want to actually do like a note repeat. So you can actually do note repeats here in this section. There's your timer. There's your beats per minute. So you can actually change that. I'm going to change this to, let's go down. I'm going to find a sample that's like 70, I think. I think it's 70. So I set that to 70 and also set 70 in here. So here's your like destructive record, and here's your overdub record, retrospective record. I still have not figured out really what that means. And your stop play and your play start spacebar, that for some reason you can't really press it in here. You have to actually go to, I guess, this control panel up here to control it. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it is in a nutshell. You have your wave here, you have your grid, your wave. So if you have your wave, you can actually do like a warp. You can do your stretching. You can put your the tempo or beats per minute that you think it should be, and that'll actually increase or decrease the sample speed. And you have a list of whatever you actually have set up. So now that we went through pretty much all the little buttons that I currently know about, let's show you how to crash it. I guess that's the best way to do it. So let's say I went and did a, let's do an instrument just real quick. So I'm on this instrument one, and I'm gonna do, let's say keys, right? So if you double click it, it should actually just load up the program. but it's not. So you can either drag it on there. As you can hear, it still plays, just to let you know what it sounds like. But you can drag it on here, it'll freeze. If you double click it like you're supposed to do, it'll freeze. So either way is gonna stop the program. I'm gonna double click it just to show you. And I already have one kind of saved and backed up. First sign would be this not responding. I've actually had it sit here for 30 minutes and it was just like this, and it didn't change, it didn't do anything. So what I did was click and boom, it brings up my white screen, and I let it sit there for this. I was like, all right, maybe it's kind of still trying to do it. Another 15 minutes, nothing. So 45 minutes I let it sit here and it didn't do anything. So I hit the X and boom, close the program. Total destruction of Cakewalk. It shuts down. But let's just make a beat real quick and kind of get going here. All right, so as you see, I already have one set up for MPC Beats, just so it can kind of pull up a little quicker. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna find some samples. So let's go to this MPC Producers Kit. You can do samples. Samples, it will let you do like all day. So I'm gonna go to samples. Let's go to melodic, and I'm gonna do a boom bap. I'm gonna do this one, seeing that I know that is 70. I'm gonna change the tempo up here. I'm gonna change it to 70. And it changed it there, as you can see. So I'm gonna pull this sample. So watch, I'm gonna double click the sample. And it plays it, no problem. I can scroll over and I can now see the samples inside my sample area. But for some reason, it won't do that for any it won't do that for any programs. I don't know why, but it won't let you do it for the program section here. All right, so if you double click on the sample, it brings you straight to the sample section where you can actually edit the sample itself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna go to the endpoint. So this is the endpoint and this is the start point. And you can actually move these around, right? And this little arrow here will let you zoom in to whatever section you want to zoom into. And I want to make sure I just kind of cut it off. And boom. So now I have that slice the way I want it, right? So now if you move over, you'll see your functions option. Now in your functions, what you would usually do is discard the remainder that you're not using. That's what you would do on an MPC. That's what you would do in the MPC Beats program. In Cakewalk, it will crash. Don't do it. I'm just telling you now. Just trying to save you guys some headaches, because I tried almost all these things, and this is what the resolution I came up with. So I'm gonna go to the chop part. See, now, so this is the trim. I just moved the trim, so I moved it there to trim it. So now I'm gonna go to the chops, right? And I'm not gonna do a manual chop. You can do a manual chop. You can go up here and you see this arrow, it'll cut wherever you have your arrow. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this regions. I think regions will be fine for me. Or I can do beats per minute. So let's do beats per minute. So it should be on the grid, right? I don't want all these chops though. I don't want 16 of them. So what I'll do is I'll change my divide to 1/8. So that way I can have 8 pads. So that way it's a lot smoother and easier for me to kind of get everything set up. So now, if you want to actually have all these laid out on different pads, what you want to do is go to this section here that says non-destructive convert, or you can do this extract new samples. And what this will do will actually make just this section here into this slice, and it'll be destructive. So you can't change it later on if you need to kind of move the tabs over or anything. It'll just, it's whatever you made is what it'll be. And if you do like a slice to pad, it's just only going to go on one pad. So you want to do a new program. I'm going to do this non-destructive new program. I'm not going to mess with like the timing and all that other stuff. So new program is going to ask me, hey, do you want to do this? And you hit do it. Do it, man. All right. So once you do that, you will come over to your programs, because this is where it's telling you it's setting a new program. So you're going to go to program. So this is your programs here. And you want to click this little arrow to go down. Like I said, it's complicated. They don't make this easy for people just to come in and make a beat. You have to know where to go to do stuff. So I'm gonna go to the boom bap. And now if I go back to this, the main mode, you have your pads here. All right, so another thing I haven't figured out inside of Cakewalk is how to get your metronome to do a pre-metronome inside of the MPC Beats. Because if you hit record and then you hit play, it's just going to start playing. It's not going to give you that, that 1 bar loop to start the recording. It just starts. Hopefully I can figure out how to do it. It does it regularly inside the regular beats when you just pull it up by itself. So I don't know if it's something else that's causing that to happen. But as you see, the buttons are kind of grayed out for your stop, play, and this play, start, spacebar. So I'm not sure. And in here, you can actually draw these things in here if you want to. If you want this pencil tool, or you can double click and it'll draw the notes in. You can stretch them out with this little arrow. You can make them bigger or smaller. And of course you can play it on the keys. All right, you can do it there on your keyboard, or you can do it here. If you know which ones you want to press, is basically like hitting the pads in here. So let's remove this. So you can double click it to remove it. You can click on it and hit delete, it'll remove it. But yeah, so I'm gonna let it go around. Over here under your sequence, this is how you would set your bars. You can go up and down. I'm just gonna leave it on 2. And this is how you would loop it, so it'll loop back around. I'm gonna have it loop back around because I don't know how to get it to do the metronome in on the MPC Beats yet. But let's see what we come up with. I'm just gonna hit the space bar. Oh, and also you can arm with the R on your keyboard to arm your track. But this is the destructive one. I'm gonna do an overdub because I don't know how many times I'm gonna mess up. And I'm gonna just press the pads on here so you can kind of see it done that way. So I'm gonna hit on this overdub, and I'm gonna hit the space bar. So as you see, it'll lock it to whatever key it's supposed to be into. I'm gonna stretch this out a little bit. I'm gonna move this over, and I'm gonna move this one over. That's kind of what I wanted. But I moved it into place, so it should be right. Let's hear how it sounds. Alright, so we'll just leave it as that. So now what we can do is do another track. Let's go to an unused one. I'm going to add another program. So program 2. We'll be able to actually add like drums on here. So let's go, and I can show you the drums. So go back out here, and you can do samples, and you can actually do a search in here. So let's say I wanted a kick, and boom, brings up the kicks in here. And these kicks are very deceptive. They are not necessarily what you hear once you actually put them into the actual program. All right, so let's take, for instance, this kick here, right? So if I drag and drop this one on here, right? That's not the same kick. See? So they're deceptive inside here. I don't know why, but that's just kind of the way it is right now. So I'm actually going to use my own sounds. So I'm going to go and put that one over it. And even though I put this kick over it, that the other kick is still there underneath the samples, because this is telling me what I actually put inside the beats. So if you want to go up, you will hit this little arrow here. It'll go up to the directory, and go with that one, and get a hi-hat. Alright, so I was a little confused. So you have to change the track. So you leave your sequence, because your sequence is what the row that it's actually in, or the sounds, all of them are going under the same sequence. So I'm changing the track. I'm supposed to change this to track 2, and the program, I'm left it on the kicking stuff down here. So like I was telling you before, you can actually do a note repeat. So I'm gonna do a note repeat on here, and let's change this and put it on 8. So I'll give it that little bounce there. And as you see, I can just hit on the pads to actually do that, and it's going to go and lock into this this timing to get it the correct timing if you want it that way. You can take off the timing if you want to. I kind of like my timing on. You can also double click to actually put a note in here. You can hit on, once it's highlighted, you can hit delete on your keyboard, or you can double click it again and it'll remove it. You can actually do this pencil tool to draw it in here. I'm just going to draw something in here really quick. And you can also draw like your kick. And then you have yourself a little drum here. And it's like, it doesn't matter like where you're using the MPC. For some reason, it just gives it that groove, that feel, yo. So weird, yo. I don't know what it is about MPC. They just give that feel. But yeah, man, that was just a quick beat, kind of show you what I've been able to find out, what I can and can't do inside of Cakewalk by Bandlab. Hopefully this was informative to you. If it was, definitely give it the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you did like this video, definitely like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so I'll let you know when I drop another video. And once again, it's your boy x.e.l.o. Peace.